So we just saw in the last screen that we were in my email mailbox and we saw the links to the documents which were received in the inbox. Now we just clicked on one of those documents and we could see here now, or we can see here the result. That means here, this is the document editing mode. And the first thing what you can find out here is proper that the file name pattern was used with a numbering feature so that the internal name of this document is mail in, the complete date, and then the number, which is the sort direction. It was imported at the 18th of March and it came from the source, that means from our OCR process FTP server with this IP number. We have the actual status in progress, and yeah, that's the basic information, first of all, what the document has got during the import procedure. And what we now have to look for is, first of all, that we want to follow up the access rights, which are automatically handed over from the folder to each document in the folder. That means what we saw as the definition of the inbox folder, we have granted the rights management to the management and the operation groups, and in the backend interface, the access right is given to our 3 DMS operators, and my person as administrator is not excluded from editing this document. We can just scroll up. That's only for demonstration purpose. Normally, I would never look into the access rights folder. This is only necessary if you want to assign different access to different groups for one individual document. The first step what we have to do now is to take a preview of the document itself so that we understand which kind of document it is. We have got it by electronic distribution of the DMS server, and we need to know what's to do with the document. So we just click on preview, and it opens now this PDF document within the browser. That takes in usually a little bit longer than the regular process of opening a PDF document, but this is depending to what DMS server of MASH is doing. That means cmstudio.dms server encrypts each document during the import process. That means by opening a PDF document, it must be decrypted again on the fly. And that might be possible that this takes a second longer than opening a regular unencrypted PDF document. We can just look here into, and this looks like an invoice of our rental service. So we get this as postal mail. We can close the document again. And now we can, in principle, we know what the document is from its content, and we have now to decide how to go forward with the document. That means step number one is for me that we define now the search key criteria. And here you see now the fields which we have defined in the setup of our archive as additional fields. And we can set here now the document date, which is a very old document. It took some time that he has processed our rental service to us. So we go back to December 2011, the 21st. That was the original document date. The document in date was now this week, the 14th. And document out date is, of course, not important. And the ID of the document is the X2, which we see as well here. So we can type in X2. It's interesting, the document content here is shown in this window again as plain text information. This is the result of the OCR process, which was in between the scan process and the import into the database. And the OCR result will help us in future to find the document not only by those search criteria, but by also a regular full text retrieval option. So we have now assigned the right search criteria to the document. So what we have to do now is, in principle, we have to transfer this document in the right folder with the invoices of this quarter. And at the same time, we want to set up the reminder for my bookkeeping department that my colleague will be able to be reminded for the certain date when this invoice has to be paid. So let's go to the button transfer and let's transfer the document first of all into the right bookkeeping folder where it will be stored and archived. So that means we click on transfer, it opens a second window, and if we here click on documents and open our archive structure, we can here click again on external invoices. And here is the folder for the first quarter where all invoices will be stored. We are doing the same procedure as we did it always paper-based. We took out of the archive a folder for invoices. We looked into the section quarter one and we stored on top with a numbering which was automatically given to with a higher number than the latest document to each kind of invoice. What we are doing now here is to say, okay, we want to choose this folder as the target folder. This is the folder for all invoices in quarter one. And we apply the naming rule of this folder. We can either use the dedicated name, which was given by the import. We can change this name manually, or we can say, okay, we know that this folder has an automatic naming procedure set up like the mail inbox folder, and then we take now this number, sort number from this folder so that our bookkeeping department can be sure that not, and our finance people can be sure that not two documents, two invoices will get the same document ID number. So let's do this in this way. We say here apply naming rule of the target folder, and we just transfer it by inserting this into the folder as a sub-object. What's happening now is, you see, the document has been renamed from mail-in date and number to invoice 2012 number 2.pdf. And the status is still in progress. But here we have now the possibility to set up or to choose a reminder status. And here we can now take payment reminder. You remember, this was one of the two reminder status which we defined for our catalog. And if we click here onto this, then it all opens again this reminder window. Margarita Zell, as my colleague in bookkeeping and for the responsible for all payments, is already chosen. I can here choose up the reminder date. If I click here in with my mouse, I can choose now 30th of March is the day where we have to pay the invoice. And the follow-up frequency is by each day. That means if she really forgets to open her mailbox to see this reminder at the 30th of March, she will be reminded every day afterwards again. So that means now we can say save and close. That means we have now defined the search criteria. We have set up the reminder date for the payment procedure. We can again take this here away so that we have a bigger, larger document area available. And you see now, this is the asterisk which shows up that this document is still under working procedure. That means in progress. And here it shows you also that there is a reminder date available. And for the quarter one folder, we also have defined that the extended information will be shown. That means the document date, all those search criteria fields, like in Google, will be shown as subtitles here as well. And if we want to get it still larger, we can also click here on X, the function bar way, and you see then it's more convenient from the view because we have here much more space. So in this way, that was now a very simple example how we can proceed documents. And think about how you are doing this in the paper way. You're getting mails in, invoices, documents, contracts, whatever, and all those documents will be distributed to the appropriate person within the company by putting it into his folder box or in his mail inbox. And then this person has to check documents, it has to distribute documents to other people. In principle, with cmstudio.dms server, we are just doing the same. This is the reason that we say our software does not require a big training session. Half a day up to maximum 1 day, you will be able to train your people to use the software, because you always have to tell them only you're doing the same what you did with your paper documents. The only difference is you do it from your desktop with a mouse click on your PC. So from this part, I have shown you now how a document has been imported in the inbox, how it was stored into the invoice folder. It is in principle already at the right position for the archival procedure, and we have shown the first task of a workflow to set up the reminder of a payment. There are several features included in the software which makes this more convenient, which makes other workflows more automatically, but this is something what we will show up in an extended training in a separate documentation and video clip.